According to Google, The Psychology of Money is the best book for investors and as well as for normal people who want to get wealthy. So here are 5 tips which I learned from it. Personal nature of money. So here author explains how experience plays crucial role in our society because we have all different experience, we worked at different jobs, we have different expectations of something. So for example, let's take 2 persons which have invested in stock market. For example, one person from 1980 would have much more expectations than person from 1960 because the person from 1960 went all in when the market literally crashed, and in 1980 market went up and it went only up. That's why a person from 90s will have much better experience with the stock market, and they will say, oh, investing is really good and we should really consider that in our lives. And the person from 1960 would think, oh no, stock market is really bad and we should not invest at all because it will all crash. So that's why experience are matter. We have different jobs, different societies, different circumstances in our lives, and that's why you have to be kind of open-minded, and this is what author of this book represents to us. So you can't know everything and you have to be literally open-minded to understand, because you can't truly understand everything in this world because we have different experience. And this is where it leads to chapter 2, Mechanics of Success. I think this chapter is one of the most important ones because here the author explains how to really get wealthy. So in this chapter, the author wants to tell us that the compounding growth is the most effective way to get rich, since it's compounding over time. It's, for example, like if you invest in S&P 500, first few years, it won't be a big value, right? You will get maximum $100, depends on what you invest. But over time, over even decades, this compounding growth is really working, and this is where it starts growing. You can imagine this like a snowball which is going up, and then afterwards it goes down. And in the moment where it goes down, this is really working, and this is where you know that that was worth it. And in this specific chapter, the author wants to tell us that getting wealthy is one thing, but remaining wealthy is whole another thing. For example, let's say a person which has earned $1 million and the person which is multi-million person which has earned more millions. It's a whole different perspective of life, you know. It's a whole different skills and different possibilities, because if you earn $1 million, it can be coincidence, but if you earn more, it's a skill. So you're literally a giant which can compound things and extend things the way they should be. And this is the whole other area and the whole other skills. And this is what the author, Morgan Housel, wants to tell us in this chapter. So key things that you have to remember is to get rich or wealthy is by compounding growth, because it's the most efficient way to get there. And the thing number 2 is getting wealthy and staying wealthy are 2 completely different things, where it goes to chapter number 3, which is purpose of wealth. The highest dividend of money is to give our freedom and full control over our time. In this chapter, the author wants to tell us that the difference between rich and wealthy, because the rich and wealthy are completely different things. The rich is when you see something, and the wealthy is that you can't see and you are gonna spend it. For example, what are you representing with rich people? For example, if I see a rich guy, I see a car, a Rolex watch, and a penthouse. But if we dig down, he could have millions of debts and he could have so much problems that you can't even count. But on the surface, he's rich and he's looking good because he has those cars, those watches, etc., etc. But wealth is the thing that you can't see. For example, your dividends, your investments, and all the things that we can't see. For example, if you invested in stock or in a company, you can't see it because it's invested there and money's working for you. And if the money's working for you, you can't really see this, because So, to get rich, you have to have millions of cars and things to impress people. But to get wealthy, to have this beautiful cover, you should understand that money is not to impress people. And really, wealthy people don't even care what people are thinking about them at all because it doesn't matter. And that's how you get wealthy instead of rich. So simple that rich are cars, Rolex, things that you can see. Wealth is the things you can't see. Chapter number 4, the practical realistics. In this chapter, author wants to tell us that the room for error is necessarily to get successful and wealthy, because we all get errors, we all get failures, because before even you could ride the bicycle, you fell a few times, and the room for error is necessarily if you want to get wealthy, because you could invest in millions of companies, but if they get fell down and if that wouldn't work, you have still room for error. So practical realities is really important. You have to be kind of practical and let the room for error grow. And that's okay. Failure is okay, and you should be kind of prepared for this. Chapter 5, Psychological Traps. I think this chapter is more of a life lesson than of a money and wealthy lesson. In this lesson, the author represents that everything has a price. It does not matter if it's not on label, then it's in time. For example, you go to school, you think the price is degree, but another price is time that you spend in school and learn this homework. If you buy a car, which is liability by the way, you think of a good car, but then you think, I should pay every single month for a fuel, for this bills, etc., etc. So it's not even the thing that you really wanted to do because the car is a debt that you didn't see. Because before you saw just a beautiful car sitting there and waiting for you. But in the end, you just pay that. And that's all. So that's a trap. So everything has a label, although everything has a value. Although it does not appear on the label. It can be whether in time or in compounding money or in depth. Everything has a value. Does not matter if you see it or not. Yeah, that was 5 tips that I've learned from this book. If you enjoyed the video, you might visit my website right here called Mantra Financial Advisor. That would help a lot to support me and to support your financial things, If you have things to discuss, you might write them in the comments. Drop a like, sub, and bye. Thanks for watching.